WBOK1230.com.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Conversations with Ryan Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com and also on YouTube. I would like to welcome you guys to another great episode of Conversations with Ryan Richardson, and I would like to welcome my family, my extended family, my two very, very good brothers, man. Co-hosting with me today, Mr. Reverend James Jackson from the Plymouth Rock Missionary Baptist Church. How you doing, sir?
I'm well, brother. I'm well. Good morning. Good morning.
All right, man. Glad to have you back.
Hey, brother. Look, it's home. So there's no back. I'm always here now.
All right. And I would also like to welcome my good brother, Mr. Denerick Anderson. How are you, sir?
Hey, good morning, good people. How you doing, my brother?
How you feeling?
Oh, yeah, everything been good this morning, man.
You nervous?
Blessed to be here.
You nervous?
Yeah.
You know I got to mess with you, bro, every time.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Right.
sir. Everything
You're going to
good,
be all right.
brother.
You're gonna be all right. Nonetheless, man, we are here and we're talking about black men and mental health today and talking about some of the things that we go through. You know, each and every week I bring you different topics on mental health, addiction, disability, and everyday issues that all of us deal with, not just men. And I would like to welcome my very, very special guest, longtime friend, birthday twin. Actually, we were born on the same day, March 24th, and she's calling all the way from Chi-Town, Chicago. I would like to welcome Oracle healer and special guest, Miss Whitney Moses. Whitney, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
How have you been?
I've been good. I mean, so far so good this morning. I hope everyone else's morning is going just as good.
All right. Welcome to the show. And I want you to give an introduction of yourself to my listening audience. Take it away.
Absolutely. My name is Whitney. I am the founder and creator of Be Soul Oracle, an online spiritual shop where I create and sell my own tarot and oracle cards. My cards are basically African American illustrated. It is meant to help heal and inspire and empower, and I'm truly blessed to be here.
Right. Welcome to the show, man. And, you know, when you and I talked, we talked about possibly discussing family trauma and different things that us men and women deal with. I think, you know, you said that the focus was going to be mainly on men. And one of the first questions I want to ask you is why? How did you get involved in what you're doing, and what was your reasoning behind it?
Well, because you know my upbringing, I've seen a lot and experienced a lot in myself, and so just dealing with you know, even like my late brother who suffered from severe mental health issues and not knowing how to save him, not knowing how to you know, even talk to him in ways that I felt was like helpful. That alone just made me want to dive into my own spiritual journey and my own spiritual awakening and doing the work myself, because I had this thought, like, if I can't help myself, I can't help anyone else. So it just, you know, back in 2020 is when it really, really started for me, my like spiritual journey. But yeah, just, you know, my upbringing and things like that.
So what was that like for you, your upbringing? Let's dig a little deep.
So my upbringing, you know, I will say this. My upbringing was fun. However, I did see, you know, a lot of things that a child shouldn't have seen or even heard. It was my mom, her 7 kids, and my stepfather, who I still love to this day. I'm glad he stepped in and was able to be a father figure to me and my siblings. But, you know, that was like, you know, on a Saturday night, you know, partying, the drinking, and, you know, the fun times. And by the end of the night, somebody was fighting and glass like slamming. And hearing that as a child was very scary. I didn't know who got hurt, if my mom was hurt. All I could think about was my mom. Like, oh my God, is she okay? And things like that. And so that's something that really terrified me as a kid. And my siblings, because they were, you know, a little older, they, you know, it didn't really terrify them as much as it terrified me. So yeah, it kind of put me in this shell. and made me fearful of just a lot of things. So yeah, that's pretty much how that was.
I think a lot of people, especially in the African American community, I've said this week after week on the show, and James and Mufasa, you know this. You know, it all starts at home, and it all starts uh, from childhood. You know,
Yeah.
but as kids, we don't we don't recognize it until we get older. And I want one of you brothers to interject and kind of help me out here and give your thoughts on
Oh, you know,
what we're talking about.
I'm
So
ready to interject at this point.
yeah,
Sister Moses, first of all, good morning.
Good
I
morning to
want
you
to
too.
say thank you for doing what you do as far as bringing the aspect of mental health to the forefront. I do have a question.
Hmm.
What was the point in your life where you realized that mental health or that you needed to address your mental health situation? And then at that point, when did it turn into saying, instead of just me and my mental health, how can how can you turn this and make this for better to better our community?
Good question. So in 2010, I gave birth to a little girl, and a month later, she passed away.
I'm sorry.
So thank you. But yeah, so that happened, and that alone was something that I felt like I had to navigate by myself because I come from a family that didn't know how to talk about trauma and emotions in a healthy way. So when that happened to me, I realized that I was dealing with it pretty much on my own. My mom, who when it comes to her own traumas and things like that, how she dealt with it was nip it in the bud, don't cry about it, deal with it later or deal with it when you can. My mom, how I knew my mom was like angry or like sad about anything is when she was angry. So when I went through that with, losing my daughter, my mom, I would play like these sad songs that would like help me to like, just let it all out. And my mom would like, I remember one time she yelled at me and she's like, turn that music off. You don't think I feel this. And she like started crying. And so at that point, I'm just thinking like, wow, I don't like how I'm dealing with this. I don't like how this is like affecting my mental health. And I feel like I can't do anything about it. And like the very next year, I ended up going back to school to get my high school diploma and get my certification and things like that. So I never even really dealt with it until about, I would say 2020 is like was my turning point was, when I was able to actually deal with my alcohol addiction. Um, and what really got me to that point was my health. I was suffering from a reproductive health issue that almost cost me my life. And had I not stopped drinking, it could have taken me out of here. So I realized that my environment where I was, because I was living with my sister at that time in 2020, and I realized that all of this was affecting me in ways that I just couldn't deal with it anymore. And I'm like, okay, I have to get myself out of this situation. And in 2021, I was able to move out of my sister's place and into my own place. And that's when I was able to focus on all of the things that I wanted to do and also, provide peace for myself and was able to deal with my own mental health and things like that. And so, yeah, it's just like being around like certain things, certain environments, or certain people, especially family, was like that's what really, really called it home for me and helped me to like focus on my mental health.
Well, I applaud you for being able to recognize for yourself that you needed some help there. I do,
Hmm.
being part of the African American community or the Black community, however you want to word it, whatever is politically correct for you at this point. Um, I do also understand, we as a culture don't really understand how to deal with trauma. And we go
Hmm.
to the first thing once we hit rock bottom. The first thing we do is go to, you know, alcohol or drugs or what have you. And I'm not oblivious of that. As a man of God, after having two strokes, I relied after my first stroke, I relied heavily on alcohol to try and make it through. but it was the
Yeah.
love of my brothers that helped me through. And then when I had my second stroke and really hit rock bottom, that's when
Mhm.
I started looking towards God. And
Mhm.
once I looked up to the heavens, because I hit the rock, the bottom of the bottom, um,
Mhm.
I realized that God has something planned for me. And then when I went to church and my pastor decided to call me up and tell me I'm preaching, that meant that I would have to be at church every Sunday.
Right.
That means I would have to
Mhm.
know my community. That means I would have to know my parishioners. So uh, I felt like that was God's way of saying, this is the way you need to go. You tried it your way. Now I need you to try it mine. So, but I
Mhm.
do thank you and I appreciate your struggle, because through your struggle, you have a testimony that people need to hear. Amen.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
you
Amen.
really are. And to back off what both of you said, in the African American community, you know, we are really not taught how to correctly deal with trauma. I think a lot of us come from these families where I say this also each and every week. We're meant to be seen and not heard. You know,
Mm,
uh,
Mhm.
and I think I can speak for all of us and say, as long as our parents or grandparents was feeding and clothing us and putting us in school, we really didn't have the classic age old saying, any wants. We had to do what we had to do in order to make it through whatever situation we were dealing with at that time.
Exactly.
And nobody ever thinks about uh, how it's making the kid feel. We
right.
just go on, Mufasa.
And you're
Yeah.
absolutely right about that. That's something I look at like a generational pass down. That's what I call it
Yeah,
because it's like
Mhm.
when you said, do I can understand what you said, like how your mother was with you, like when things went a little wrong or whatnot, hey, rub some dirt on it, just keep it pushing type stuff.
yeah,
I've experienced that a lot too.
Mhm.
Like, and I really go to wondering, like, all right, well, how was their parents was with them? You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Like, how was your grandmother was with your mother? Was she that same way, and it just kind of passed down? And I've
Mhm.
witnessed a lot of that. And in our community, like especially us growing up, like we definitely. I know in my era growing up, it wasn't no, a little boy you had to be like a man. You can't be crying to your parents and all that.
right, right,
Nah, you got to go face this and all that. It wasn't no, you know, hey, it's gonna be all right type of talks. Like, man, nah, you can't be crying, acting like this, that, and the third. And it's something to where, I would even look at like, okay, how it was for them when they were coming up, how their parents was with them, and then how it was their parents was with them. It's
Mhm.
it's one of them things that, that's been passed down, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And constantly, and it's still going on like that to this day.
Mhm.
People go through things, and don't know how to really express themselves because they feel like they can't express themselves because of how they came up. It's a sign of weakness and all of that.
and it's the constant fear
Yes.
of how you think your parent is going to react to what you're telling them. Because on
Yeah.
one end, our parents, they tell us, well, you can come to talk to me about anything.
Hmm.
But then on the other end, it's like when we come at them with some real issues, we say, it's
Hmm.
like, no, I don't want to hear that. This is what you need to be doing.
Well,
So it's a catch 22.
well, if I
Oh,
could also chime
Yeah.
in, I mean, it's also, I don't want to put the blame everything on the parents. It's
Right.
society.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Society does not
Yep.
let a black man understand that he has emotions. Society does not
Mhm.
allow us or allow the community to understand that a black man has feelings. And I'm not just saying it's a black man, but I'm saying the black community. So we could
Yeah.
not afford the opportunity to say, "Mom and Dad, I don't feel well mentally. Mom and Dad, I don't feel well emotionally," because the world doesn't care for a black man, for a minority to go through what they're going through. It might sound a bit um, contrary to what's going on in the world, but honestly and truly, at the end of the day, I mean, look at it. Black man is the most feared man in the world, and we're kept down. Our people are kept down, and if we don't have an opportunity to have somebody to vent to, that's why I love Freemasonry so much.
Right.
As a Freemason, I love the brotherhood. I have men that are around me to help me deal with things that only a man could understand, especially a black man. So that helps me through my struggles. And I can only speak on the aspect of a black man and not from a woman. So I'm not saying black men are only ones that feel
Right.
of that way. So Sister Moses, please don't come through the microphone and choke me, okay?
No,
Go
I
ahead, Whitney.
know. No, I totally agree with everything you're saying, honestly, and I love that that has provided a brotherhood for you, and I think that it's very much needed. Like I said, I've witnessed, my brother who's no longer here go through his stuff and not having anyone to talk to, and I have other members in my family who refuse to even go to therapy because their first, thought is, well, what is this person going to help me with? What can they tell me that I don't know already? Or how can they, you know what I mean? So it's just like they don't even feel that there's options out here.
Right.
And that's because a lot of them have been, like we said, taught to suppress or not even talk about it. And I was literally just having this conversation with my Uber driver yesterday. And that's one of the things I do. I feel really, really I feel a way about it because I want Black men to be able to express themselves. I feel like that was just an unfair thing that was given or passed down to Black men of them not having this safe place to be able to express what they feel emotionally, So I totally agree.
Oh
Wow.
yeah, and I can honestly say this, and this is through my personal experience. I had my grandfather who had passed away a few years ago, but pretty much when he was in the hospital and they told him, there wasn't nothing else they can do for him. My grandfather was the type of man, was like a hard worker, come from Mississippi, work hard since he was he started working, dropped out of school in the first grade and was working to help take care of his family early like that. But I can also say, as good of a provider and hard worker he was, he never was the type to say "I love you" or anything like that. So when the doctors told us, that was pretty much it. I remember I went in there, I talked to him, said what I had to say to him, and I never told him "I love you." And I remember I had to stand by the door as I'm getting ready to leave, and I couldn't even look him in the face. And I was like, all right, Grandpa, man, I love you, man. And I ran out because it felt so awkward for me to say that to him, and it shouldn't have felt like that. You know what I'm saying?
Because it was something that was never.
Yeah.
I don't want to say, for lack of a better term, not taught to you, or your family did not know how to express that feeling.
Right.
And it's not to say that they didn't,
Right.
but and I think you would agree with me, Whitney. It's not to say that they didn't, but some people just don't know how to express that.
Don't.
Yeah.
And it's not nothing common that we've done at all. Like, it felt strange, but I felt like it shouldn't have. And even like right now to this day, like, I have a 23-year-old and I have a 9-year-old. I tell my children,
you getting old.
I love them every day.
Amen.
You hear me?
Right.
I want them to know, and hey, that's like the most beautiful feeling, for me to get that off. Because like I said, I didn't come up saying, even to my grandfather, to my mother, hey, I love you like that. They always showed that, we always showed we loved each other.
Right.
But saying that out there, it just, I don't feel like, I shouldn't have felt that awkward saying that to my grandfather leaving out. I wish I could have, held his hand, told him how I felt like that, and I just, that was just something that does always sit with me because that's how we came up, and
Yeah.
that was
And just to piggyback off of that, brother, I mean, how many times have I cried on your shoulder, literally?
right.
How many times have I told you I love you?
Right.
So I have no problems with saying I love you to those who I truly love.
We always say that to each other, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so hang tight, y'all. We got to go to our first break, all right? This is Conversations with Ron Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com and also on YouTube. Remember, guys, if you want to catch me, you can catch me on the go. Just search for me on Facebook. Just search for the Ron Rich or Ron Richardson Facebook page. You can also find me on Instagram. Just search for Ronald_Richardson_Jr. on Instagram. And you can also find me on TikTok, Lemon, and LinkedIn. And I'm also new to Substack, all under the same name. And my book actually came out on May 15th, Redefining Abilities. So you can get that on Amazon as well. We'll be right back after this with Conversations with Ron Richardson with Miss Whitney Moses, Reverend James Jackson, and my good brother, Deneric Anderson, affectionately known to us as Mufasa. We still have not figured out how you got that name, but you know what? We're going to come back to it, all right?
I'll run into you.
Stay tuned, man. We'll be right back after this. This is Conversations with Ron Richardson.
Let's get it.
Hey everybody, it's Graylin Bryant Banks
And Kimber White Dupree.
from the front porch.
Some combos are too good to miss. Now you can pull up a chair to the front porch anytime.
Just search WBOK Media and subscribe to the Front Porch Podcast.
Download, share, and hit us with a 5-star rating because New Orleans culture deserves to be heard loud and clear.
Hi, everyone. This is Angie from the Sincerely Angie podcast, and I am excited to share something special with you. My friend Ron Richardson, the host of Conversations with Ron Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM and streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com, is releasing an inspiring new book called Redefining Ability. This powerful book challenges the stigma surrounding mental health and reminds us that our struggles don't define our limits. They can redefine our strength. Redefining Ability is about hope, resilience, and changing the conversation about mental health in our families, our communities, and within ourselves. The official release date is May 15th, 2026. You'll be able to download the ebook through Kindle Direct Publishing and be a part of the movement that's breaking stigma and celebrating the power of ability. Because ability isn't about perfection, it's about perseverance. Redefining Ability by Ron Richardson.
Hey family, Ron Richardson here, host of Conversations with Ron Richardson. If you're looking for quality catering and barbecue, you need to contact my friends at Kuzan's Catering and Barbecue Team. Mr. Eddie Bunch and Kuzan's have been serving the West Bank since 2013 with their quality selection of barbecue and seafood. If you're looking for quality catering, be sure to contact Kuzan's Catering, located at 618 Westwood Drive in Marrero, or you can go to kuzansonline.com for more information for all the services that they offer, or call 504-233-4227. Catering done the right way just for you. That's Kuzan's, baby.
New Orleans, you want to know what we're talking about? Tune in every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on WBOK for Conversations with Ron Richardson. The topics will always be hot and the conversation will be all the way live. Meet us there. We'll save you a seat. We can also talk about you and your business as a sponsor of Conversations with Ron Richardson. Contact Ron at 504-874-4584 or email him at richardsonronald024@gmail.com for more details.
In a world full of content, standing out is everything, and that is where Mr. Byron Headley comes into play. If you need professional photography, cinematic video, or scroll-stopping video, it is time to give Byron Shoots in Motion a call so he can bring your vision to life, frame by frame. For more information, you can call Byron Headley at 346-365-4379. That's 346-365-4379, or follow him on Instagram at Byron_shoots_in_-motion. Byron_shoots_in_-motion. Byron Shoots in Motion. Capture with purpose, delivered in motion. This is Ron Richardson with Redefining Ability. This week, we're talking about Black men and mental health. Mental health is an essential part of overall well-being for many Black men, yet it remains an overlooked and often stigmatized topic. While conversations about mental health have grown more common in recent years, Black men continue to face unique social, cultural, and systemic barriers that make seeking help difficult. I am speaking directly to all my brothers, and I am telling you to take charge of your mental health and open up about the issue that you may be going through. There is no shame in showing weakness or being vulnerable. This is Ron Richardson with Redefining Ability. For more information about Redefining Ability, you can contact me at richardsonronald024@gmail.com. richardsonronald024@gmail.com. And remember, healing and recovery start with you.
Are you looking for the next burlesque sensation? Searching for some prime entertainment on a Sunday night? Well, come down to the Always Lounge as Scarlett Letta presents Show Me Your Noobs. You'll see the finest new entertainers performing burlesque, drag, and a variety of acts that will tease, titillate, and delight you. We are here every third Sunday of the month. Come catch the most raved about show in New Orleans that no one has ever heard of until now. Show Me Your Noobs. It's the perfect night out, whether you're a burlesque regular or sharing your first time with us. Show Me Your Noobs will leave you breathless.
For more information on Show Me Your Noobs, go to thealwayslounge.net.
WBOK online at WBOK1230.com.
It's the place where we can be open and honest about real life issues. You're listening to Conversations with Ron Richardson, live on WBOK and online at WBOK1230.com.
Welcome back. This is Conversations with Ron Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com and also on YouTube. And I got my brothers in the studio with me today, man, co-hosting, doing their thing, getting their chops up on the mic. I had Mr. Deneric Anderson. How you doing, sir?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
And I have my good brother, Reverend James Jackson.
Good morning and blessings.
Affectionately known to me as Brother Debo.
For a little while anyway, for a little while longer. I'm not Debo too much longer.
And I also had the woman of the hour, the very beautiful Miss Whitney Moses. How you doing, man?
Hello. Hi, everybody.
All right, she is back. Whitney, tell the people where they can get in contact with you, man, if they want to find out more information about what you do and everything you have going on.
You can find me on IG at B, capital B, Soul, SOUL, Oracle, ORACLE. And I'm also on TikTok at B Soul Oracle as well. And I am on Facebook at Whitney Moses.
All right, man. Hit us up. Drop us a line, 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422 if you want to talk to the crew this morning and ask Miss Moses a question about Oracle healing and things of that nature. If you want to ask my brothers a question about anything that they have going on or pertaining to the show. So Whitney, how did you get into Oracle healing?
Creating Oracle cards and things like that. So this started back in 2020. Believe it or not, my first Oracle deck that I created was sent to me via dream. I had a dream about it, and it was really cool. The name and how the design looked and everything like that. It appeared to me in a dream. And once I had that dream, it's like I started, they call it spiritual downloads in the spiritual community. I started getting all of these like spiritual messages, and I just wrote them down. And when I started looking at that, like the notebook that I wrote it in, and I'm like, what do I do with these messages? Do I just keep them here? Is it just for me? And I was watching a tarot reader at the time on YouTube, and I'm like, oh, tarot cards and oracle cards. So yeah, and then once I got the whole vision, that's when I decided to make it a thing. And here I am, 2026, and I have about 5 or 6 oracle decks I already created, and I'm getting ready to create more. There's 2 more I'm getting ready to release, which are for men, actually. And I'm thankful that I'm having this conversation with you all because it's helping me a lot to bring this home. A lot of women think that what I am creating with these new cards that I'm creating, they think that it is, a lot of them think this is going to be like an attack on men, and I want to make very clear that that is not what I'm doing here. I am trying to get into some deep, deep shadow work. So, yeah, this is like I said, this is very beneficial.
The attack on men. And I know this is going to be a touchy subject for some women that are listening out there, but as a woman of your stature and the different things that you have going on and different things that you do, why do you think that is?
Because I think that women, and I'm not going to say all women, I think that the women who assume that this will be an attack are the women who are currently suffering or going through their own heartache when it comes to love and relationships that they have not tackled. And so it's like they look for, people like tarot readers or things like that to, I guess, confirm their feelings or confirm their hurts or things like that. And I think that's like the I don't want to say problem, but I have seen like a lot of readers who would, do that. And the thing is, I never wanted to be one of those tarot readers or, creators even where people saw me like that. I always wanted to be seen as someone who was trying to heal my community instead of break them down. And that goes for men, period. It goes for men too. I'm not out here just attacking women, and I'm not just going to be out here just attacking men. I want us to get to a place where we can safely talk about our issues and work through them together, because just like it's like we're always pointing a finger at each other, right? Forgetting that we all got hit with, the bull crap. And it's like we're pointing fingers like, oh, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. And it's like we forget that we're all suffering from something. We're all suffering from trauma. We're all suffering from heartache. And the issue is not to attack, or the problem is not to attack each other. It's to help heal it and see how we can find a common ground,
So I'm going to kick it over to my brothers, man. How do you brothers feel that we can find a common ground in getting rid of this divide between men and women and the different issues and trauma that we all deal with?
How do you get around the divide? How do you fix the divide?
How do you feel that we fix the divide?
There is always going to be a divide, because human nature states that a man is one way and a woman is another way. It's a matter of finding who you are, and that's either through your faith or through tarot or through whatever, to figure out who you are and then find out who you're matched with. Not every man is supposed to be matched with every woman. That's biblical. You have to be evenly yoked. You have to know who you are inviting into your life, let alone who do you invite into your house. So it's very important, both spiritually, it's also important for your mental health, because if you are getting someone involved with someone who you know is toxic, but it feels good, it's like it's no difference than being on drugs. You are addicted to that person, even though you know they're not good for you. You're not evenly yoked. So when you find out who you are, for me, it was through my faith. Through my faith, I found out who I was. Through my faith, I found out how strong I can stand on my own. Through my upbringing, through my father, God rest his soul as he watches over me in heaven. I have men that are around me to confirm how I feel, that I'm not just by myself. So it's very important to understand that divide, it's the Grand Canyon. You can bridge some of it, but in order for you to live your life and live a good life, you have to find somebody that's evenly yoked, and you'll never bridge that divide, in my opinion.
Brother Mufasa?
Well, I can definitely agree with you on that. Growing up, it just brings me back to how I was when I was a teenager, looking at someone, wanting to be with them for, how they look and all of that, not really how their mind is and stuff like that. And when you get with them, it's all kind of drama and stuff like that. But I'm knowing this person is not right for me, but I still want to pursue this person because, oh, she look good. People going, what people think, and all of this and all of that. And
how they
as I,
make you feel.
yeah, and as I got older, like you get to a point where you get tired of, going through toxic relationships. Well, I know I have, and I've wanted to take my time to learn somebody that I can be able to match with. Somebody I feel like is more deeper than the physical presence. It's like, let me see where your mind is at. And when I found someone that I feel match me like that, it's like, you've been with your best friend, and that's something that I truly, love on a daily basis. And that's the thing. Like, I had to take my time, get out of my element of wanting to have something just for the show off, but more of what fits me. Somebody that I could talk to about anything. She can talk to me about anything, and that to me is a beautiful thing. But I had to change my way of thinking on that, of how I would approach someone, and got more on a mental, with a person than just looking at a physical, So yeah, that's definitely been helpful to me to change up how I approach.
Brother Ron, I know this is your show, but
Yes, sir.
I would love to hear how what Sister Moses thinks as far as how we could bridge the gap to answer that question, number one.
Right.
But also, number two, I would love to hear her story on some of the kickback that she's gotten from the community, especially the Black community, because we're raised to be Catholics or Baptists or strictly religious and looking at God and not understanding that the aspect of tarots, because when you don't understand something, you always demonize it.
And you know what? Hold tight, Whitney. That was going to be my next question. This is why I say you should host my show one week. Because one thing about Brother James, man, since he's been co-hosting with me, you always think ahead of me sometimes, which is a great asset, because a lot of times I'm not even thinking about whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But so Whitney, how do you feel about what Brother James Jackson just said? How do you feel that we can bridge that gap? And how do you
feel how because it's the Black community, we were brought up as Christians and things like that. So yeah, there was in my family, when I first came out with it, they're like, okay, I don't understand it. But they know I've always just been myself. To be honest, I didn't get as much pushback as I thought I would. I got more pushback when I revealed to my mom that, I was into women. I got pushback from that. But other than that, with this, they never really, I don't know, they never really cared for it. So they just ignored it. And, they're like, I believe in what I believe in. You believe in what you believe in, and I'll keep it that way. But I just think that when it comes down to religion and spirituality, because there seems to be like this verse battle. And to me, I think it goes hand in hand. But I think that there's a lot of people who feel like you have to, if you're spiritual, that means you can't be super religious, or you can't be this, you can't believe in God. And that's not true. I very much so believe in God. Okay. And I feel that what I do is my calling. And I'll tell you how I know that, because when the dream came to me to create these oracle cards, in that dream, what happened was it showed me how my life would look if I was to stick to this idea, if I was to stick to this plan, if I was to stick to this vision and do what it is that was shown to me. And I kid you not, that dream right now to this day is just so accurate, because it allowed for me to, I always would struggle with money. I always would struggle with prosperity. And once I followed and honed in on that vision, that is when my life started to blossom. That is when my money problems started to, get fixed and things like that. Like things just started to prosper for me once I really took that vision and did something and executed it.
Manifestation,
So I
correct?
think, yeah.
Yeah, manifestation, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
But
You can say it's manifestation, but I mean, when you have like I guess a prophetic dream like that, a lot of people will say, "Oh, that's God showing you something. That's God, sending you signs or whatnot." Or some people will say spirit or the universe. We're calling it different names, but at the end of the day, it's still source. And it's still delivering that message. It's still delivering that message to you. It's up to you to follow it.
See, Brother Ron, I think we need a part two because I have so many questions.
Yeah.
I'm truly intrigued. Sister Moses, how do you balance your faith with? Because I don't know what your religious background is, and if I'm going too personal, please, you don't have to answer. But how do you balance your faith with the tarot? Because in the Black community, again, we demonize things that we don't understand. So can you explain to me how you balance that? Because I think it's very important for the listeners to understand that there is a cultural difference.
So when you say my faith, are you talking about like religion?
Yes.
So I'm not into any. I don't consider myself religious. I don't consider myself a Christian or anything like that. Do I believe in God? Yes, but I do not follow any type of religion per se. But when it comes to, I guess, keeping my faith, I mean, like I said, when it comes to the things that I guess, manifested, that new word manifest, it has something to do with me being, having my faith in God, that things will be okay. With everything that I've been through in my life, it took for me to change my mind and to talk to God in a different kind of way. When I was going through everything that I was going through, I've taken a lot of losses, losing my daughter, losing my brother, and just going through a lot of things that felt like a loss. And that took a toll on me spiritually. I got into this like deep depression and this mindset that I wasn't meant to live a good life or a decent life. And one day I decided to change my mind on it. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to continue to think that God is personally attacking me here. I'm not going to continue to think that God or the universe or spirit, whatever you want to call it, has this personal vendetta against me, because I think that's what happens when we fall into this negative thinking and this negative mindset that, oh, like, woe is me, this is just happening to me, and I don't know how to get myself out of it. And so once I decided to change my mind and really just keep my faith in God that things will prosper for me one day or someday, however. And once I really, really started to believe that, my life changed.
Well, amen. I'm glad for that you've made it that clarity. Brother Mufasa, looks like you got something that you want to add to this.
Yeah, because I saw the look on his face, so go ahead, man.
No, I was just deep into listening to what she was saying. It's not so much as I wanted to add anything to it. It was, I was just deep in thought and listening to what she was saying.
Well, Brother Ron, I do feel that we need a part two. Again, I have so many questions. I want to dig deep down into this tarot cards. I wish I could actually physically see them, so that way I can get a feel for what I'm, what we're talking about here.
Right.
I am not as versed with the tarot world, so I would love some explanations, or is it something that we can do? Like, can you do a reading over the radio? I don't know if that's possible. Just those things.
We will eventually do a part two, and I think second time around, Miss Moses is going to be in person because she couldn't make it down.
I do want to say something though here. I do want to say this though, and I hope this doesn't sound weird, but one thing I did learn through my spiritual journey, when it comes to how you talk to God, God likes for you to talk to him nice. And I had to learn that. And I feel like your thoughts are your deepest conversation with God. We don't see it that way, but it is. So that was another thing. That was another reason why I changed the way, or wanted to change the way that I thought, and the way that, just the negative thinking and the negative thinking patterns and things like that. It just made me realize that God really wants you to be careful of how you talk to him.
Right. All right. So hold that thought, wait, because we got to go to our second break. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you ran me into that one. Okay.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good, man. This is Conversations with Ron Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com. I have Mr. Reverend Brother Square James Jackson in the building as co-host, and Brother Mufasa as co-host as well. Y'all good?
Oh yeah. Loving this.
We'll be right back after this. Stay tuned. Hit us up, 504-582-9422. 504-582-9422. This is Conversations with Ron Richardson. We'll be right back after this. Stay tuned.
Hoops, Heat, The Truth, On Demand. Ball Don't Lie is now live on all podcast platforms. Tap in, search WBOK Media, find Ball Don't Lie, and bring the fire with you wherever you go. Download, share, and leave that 5-star review, because the game doesn't stop when the show ends.
Ron Richardson here. If you are like me, that means you love the feeling of getting a fresh haircut and shave. If you do, then you should check out my friends Eddie and Dana Bunch at First Impressions Barber and Beauty Salon, specializing in hairstyles for men, women, and children. If you want to make a good first impression, you should check out First Impressions Barber and Beauty Salon, located at 618 Westwood Drive in Marrero, or call 504-341-6777. Remember, it's never too late to make that first impression at First Impressions Barber and Beauty Salon.
New Orleans, you want to know what we're talking about? Tune in every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on WBOK for Conversations with Ron Richardson. The topics will always be hot, and the conversation will be all the way live. Meet us there. We'll save you a seat. We can also talk about you and your business as a sponsor of Conversations with Ron Richardson. Contact Ron at 504-874-4584 or email him at richardsonronald024@gmail.com for more details.
Hi, everyone. This is Angie from the Sincerely Angie podcast, and I am excited to share something special with you. My friend Ron Richardson, the host of Conversations with Ron Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM and streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com, is releasing an inspiring new book called Redefining Ability. This powerful book challenges the stigma surrounding mental health and reminds us that our struggles don't define our limits. They can redefine our strength. Redefining Ability is about hope, resilience, and changing the conversation about mental health in our families, our communities, and within ourselves. The official release date is May 15, 2026. You'll be able to download the ebook through Kindle Direct Publishing and be a part of the movement that's breaking stigma and celebrating the power of ability. Because ability isn't about perfection, it's about perseverance. Redefining Ability by Ron Richardson.
Are you looking for the next burlesque sensation? Searching for some prime entertainment on a Sunday night? Well, come down to the Always Lounge as Scarlett Letta presents Show Me Your Noobs. You'll see the finest new entertainers performing burlesque, drag, and a variety of acts that will tease, titillate, and delight you. We're here every third Sunday of the month. Come catch the most raved about show in New Orleans that no one has ever heard of until now. Show Me Your Noobs. It's the perfect night out, whether you're a burlesque regular or sharing your first time with us. Show Me Your Noobs will leave you breathless.
For more information on Show Me Your Noobs, go to thealwayslounge.net.
This is Ron Richardson with Redefining Ability. This week we're talking about black men and mental health. Mental health is an essential part of overall well-being for many black men, yet it remains an overlooked and often stigmatized topic. While conversations about mental health have grown more common in recent years, black men continue to face unique social, cultural, and systemic barriers that make seeking help difficult. I am speaking directly to all my brothers, and I am telling you to take charge of your mental health and open up about the issue that you may be going through. There is no shame in showing weakness or being vulnerable. This is Ron Richardson with Redefining Ability. For more information about Redefining Ability, you can contact me at richardsonronald024@gmail.com. richardsonronald024@gmail.com. And remember, healing and recovery start with you. In a world full of content, standing out is everything. And that is where Mr. Byron Headley comes into play. If you need professional photography, cinematic video, or scroll stopping video, it is time to give Byron Shoots in Motion a call so he can bring your vision to life, frame by frame. For more information, you can call Byron Headley at 346-365-4379. That's 346-365-4379. Or follow him on Instagram at Byron_shoots_in_-motion. Byron_shoots_in_-motion. Byron Shoots in Motion. Capture with purpose, delivered in motion.
When you talk, we listen. WBOK.
Thanks for listening to Conversations with Ron Richardson, live on WBOK, and listen online at WBOK1230.com. Now, back to Ron.
Welcome back. This is Conversations with Ron Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com and also on YouTube. Remember, guys, you can catch me on the go. You can search me on Facebook. Just search for the Ronald Richardson or Ron Rich Facebook page. Or you can find me on Instagram at Ronald_Richardson_Jr. on Instagram. I'm also on LinkedIn, TikTok, new to Substack, and I'm also on Lemon. I'm all over the place. Brother James, tell the people where they can get in contact with you.
Brother Ron, now the guy they can get in touch with me?
Yeah.
Look, I'm already friends with you, so they can find me through your page. How about that? Because it's hard for me to explain how my pages are set up because really, I mean, my name is common. So since my name is so common and I use it to find me, you'll find a million James Jacksons, let alone if you look at Michael Jackson or anything else.
But you know you work in radio now, right? So you got to fix it.
Oh, yeah. You know, I stay ready.
Brother Mufasa, man, tell the people how they can get in contact with you.
You could get in contact with me through Facebook under Deneric Anderson, DANERIC Anderson. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I mean, I have it. I really don't be on that much. Yeah, I'm kind of a little old school with the Facebook. So
right.
Yeah.
Miss Moses, tell my beautiful listening audience how they can get in contact with you if they want to find out more about you.
You can get in contact with me through IG, TikTok, or Facebook. I'm at IG and TikTok at B Soul, SOULORACLE. And I am on Facebook at Whitney Moses.
All right. So we only have a few minutes left, but, we were talking about faith, and I wanted you to expound on, your faith a little bit more and your view on how we tie in tarot cards and faith.
How we tie in tarot cards and faith.
Or oracle healing, I should say.
Oracle healing. There are a few people who are Christian who do tarot readings and things like that. I don't necessarily know how you do, but some people make it work. Some people do not lose their religion at all when it comes to this. They, like I said, they think this is God speaking to them, through cards. And I feel like the thing is, it's still a conversation with God. However you know what I mean? Like, some people don't think it is, some people do. So me, like I said, I'm not religious, so I can't really speak on that when it comes to like people's faith or whatnot. But at the end of the day, this is, the tools that I use to, do my thing in spirituality. So,
Brother James,
as a minister, it's kind of hard to choose these words, so I'm going to choose my words lightly. First of all, again, I want to thank you for being so open and honest about your personal life, because knowing you is a gift in itself. So I thank you for your testimony.
Take your time.
Through your tarot cards, or through the tarot cards, explain to me how you get the message that to come out to people. I'm interested in that process. I don't know if it's a spiritual thing or if it's an ancestral thing that's being spoken to through the cards, or how does that actually work?
Yeah, so kind of what you just said. There are certain people, like, I don't know what you believe in with that. I know you're a Christian, correct?
I am.
Okay. So there are people who believe in spirit guides. There are people who believe in their ancestors who have, moved on, into the other realm, that do speak to them through tarot cards, through pendulums, there's different spiritual tools that people use to connect to different spiritual sources. So my way is through tarot cards. So when reading these, like, yes, you do, there are meanings to the cards, where if you, like, someone just beginning, they would go specifically off of the meaning of the cards. And, they look it up and say, oh, well, this means this and that. Now, if you're someone who, I guess, is spiritually gifted, which I think we all are, you would look at that card and know that it's almost as if your intuition or that spirit guide speaking to you and telling you something totally different from even the meaning of the card. It's like you're reading a story. So I guess it depends on who you're talking to, who's reading for you, and the messages that are coming through to them.
All right, so you know what? That's our time, and we will definitely have to do a part 2 in a couple of weeks, because this is some deep conversation.
Part 2 coming.
Yeah, part 2 coming. Seriously, like we got to get it done. Whitney, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to do the show with you and interview today. Quickly, any positive words of encouragement to anybody out there going through anything? Take it away.
Just stay motivated, stay positive, keep going, and that's it.
All right, all the best to you, young lady, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right, Brother Jackson.
Follow your heart. God is love, and if you follow your heart, you'll make the right decisions. If you ever want to get in touch with me, or if you want to come, you can come to my church. I'm at Plymouth Rock Missionary Baptist Church at 233 Hillary Street. That's here in New Orleans. We start our services at 11 o'clock. I guarantee you'll get a spiritual message that you won't forget.
Mufasa, quickly.
Yes, sir. Just keep walking upright. You know what I'm saying? Keep yourself right. And everything will be all right with you.
All right, man. This has been Conversations with Ron Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com and also on YouTube. Remember, healing and recovery start with you. See you next week, New Orleans, same time, same place, same bad channel, right here on WBOK 1230 AM, worldwide. See you next week.